Hi friends, welcome to Bookish Bliss, our virtual book club. Every week we will dig into a section of chapters in our favorite books. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 50 of Bookish Bliss. We have a lot to celebrate today.
This week we are celebrating Bookish Bliss's 1 year anniversary as a podcast.
Whoa!
How insane is that?
Insane.
I honestly can't believe we're at episode 50 and it's been an entire 365 days.
I know. Sometimes I feel like it's been so long because we literally make ourselves so busy every single week with this podcast. But it's also so worth it and so much fun to really dig into these books and go through every line and to do it with you. I love it. So, fuck yeah. Yay. Congrats to us. 1 year, baby.
So proud of us. Your editing skills are top notch.
Thank
now.
you. I try. And our social media is popping because of you.
Thanks. Now that TikTok isn't going away, I'll focus again on there because we were doing really well on our growth on TikTok, but then I was like, is it even worth it?
I know.
But now I guess it is. I'll have to reinforce my efforts there.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda, darling, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight, I am drinking a Canada Dry seltzer.
Shut up.
Lemon and lime. It is just seltzer water. No alcohol. But I swear to God, I know you love ginger ale. This is exactly the taste of ginger ale in this seltzer.
Oh.
Exactly. So healthier version. No chemicals to make you addicted. No sugar. And bomb. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, I'm drinking a chemical version with sugar. Canada Dry because I am exhausted.
Yeah.
We did some fantastic things last night. We went, or really today.
I know.
We were at the midnight release of Onyx Storm, and then I had to be up super early for work today.
I know.
So I'm a little sleepy, and it took me an hour and a half to get home because of car accidents and craziness, but
Megan is
exhausted. We had to be here tonight to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. So the bad chemicals it is for me.
Hey, sometimes you got to do it. If I could do it and not be a savage and addicted, I would. So cheers to you.
I just need a little sugar to get me through this episode.
Yeah.
So cheers to us. Cheers to Bookish Bliss, and cheers to episode 50 in 1 year.
Cheers, darling.
Cheers.
Woo. So good.
Love the chemicals.
I love that you love the chemicals. But all right, let's get started with the good stuff. And first, we are starting with our first reactions of Onyx Storm. Obviously, no spoilers. I'm a little further than Megan because I did not have to work today. I probably slept 6 hours in the last 2 days, though, so I didn't get too far, but I'm on chapter 7, so I have a good first impression.
I was like, please slow down because my jealousy level is at an all-time high. I'm sleep-deprived and moody, so slow it down.
I know, and I was that asshole today, like, oh my God, chapter 3. Oh my God, chapter 4. Oh my God, chapter 6. I'm like, I suck, but... Yeah. You know, I can't go through it alone. I need you to catch up.
I am trying. I'm on chapter 2.
So Megan's really going to give you a first reaction. Why don't you start? Because I know a little bit more than you. Not that we're giving any spoilers, but, you know.
No, I am. I'm, like, pleasantly surprised with us really picking up where we left off at the end of Iron Flame. I mean, we did that in Fourth Wing as well, but I like that there's not, like, a time jump because I feel like sometimes authors will do that in series where there's, like, a massive time jump, but I'm glad we're just picking up where we left off. Yeah. And it's just action-packed already from the prologue to I just finished the end of chapter 1, and it's like, whoa!
Yeah. And I have to tell you, that continues. Every single chapter, I have chills. I'm like, holy shit. I can't stop. This is why Megan's yelling at me all day.
Yeah. I just have one beef already in chapter 1. Basically, when Violet's in her flight leathers, this isn't spoilers, she says, and then I take my winter flight leather hood off. And then like a couple of paragraphs later, she's like, and I take my winter flight leather jacket hood off. I think 2 or 3 times. Yeah. I'm like, you already did that. And I think it's just because I'm so tired that I'm reading so slowly, because usually I would just like whip through this.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. So
that I was like, oh wow, that bugs me. but besides that, no, great first impression. Really excited to see, you know, where the rest of this book goes, and excited to record our first episode in a couple days, really. Yeah. Not even a week out.
I know.
So,
yeah. So I will add a little bit to that and just say that I think out of all 3 of them so far, this one has been the most exciting in every single chapter. Like, there's not one chapter so far that I've read. I just read up to 7. Or did I read 7? Yeah, I think I read 7. I get goosebumps. I'm like, holy shit. And the epigraphs, top fucking notch.
I was talking to my cousin Ray, who's also a really big Empyrean series fan, and we were talking on the phone, and he said, how far did you get today? Literally so many people have asked me this, and I'm like, I have not read anything, because it's just such a busy work day. Yeah. And he is at the end of chapter 3 or going into chapter 4, he said, and he was like, gave me the same thing you said. He said it's been nonstop and for me to buckle in. Literally. And so I was like, you got it. I'm going to buckle in.
Yeah. And you know me, I love a map, but we got some little resources in the front to give us some little background information, which comes in very handy right away. So.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it is so fucking good.
I'm excited to finish recording this so I can read.
Exactly. Yeah. But, you know, we'll have our full-on spoiler episode starting next week. So we're going to be covering all the way up to chapter 10. So
yes,
make sure you read at least up to there. And shout out Emily today for listening to me all day because Megan couldn't read.
Yes. Also, please, no spoilers in our comments or anything like that. This is the first book we'll be covering on Bookish Bliss that I have not read. So I just want my genuine like predictions and reactions, and I don't want anything spoiled. Yeah. So I know people have like whipped through this book today that may follow us. So please just like no spoilers and wait until we go through the chapter. Yeah. That the spoiler is on.
Exactly. And also, one little bone I have to pick with Target today before we get started. Because I know there's other people on the internet who feel the same way as me. And fuck Target for literally not letting me buy the book when I was up at 3 a.m.
Yes.
Over and over trying to click it until it finally said it was out of stock and it wouldn't let me. It was like, too busy. I'm like, pissed.
Yeah.
So fuck
tried
Target.
For us. I woke up to her text messages because I started a new program at work and I had to be there super early. So after the midnight release, I had to go to sleep, and Amanda is the bestest friend and best co-host, tried to get the Target editions for us as well. But yeah, no, that just didn't happen. What really bums me out is that I'm on like a resale app and I always am looking at special editions and things like that. There's like 500 of these Target special editions already up there for way above, you know, what these people paid for it. Yeah. I think the cheapest I saw was around $60, the highest being $1,000, which is crazy. Just wild.
Wild. Yeah. They could have gone a little bit more copies so that we all could have bought in $2. She would have made a lot of money.
Yeah, I get that it's like a special edition releasing at Target, but I would think they would have more than, 10 or 7 or whatever it was that was at each location, which is...
Yeah, it literally told me it was sold
very
out
limited.
At $312. They couldn't have had that much.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Insane.
Especially because everybody online was having problems. It wasn't like... It was literally like if you could
try to buy
through, you're lucky.
Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah, literally. It was crazy. But anyways, I'm still going to shop at Target, but fuck you.
Yeah.
For not letting me have the book.
Yeah, and putting out at some locations some of these special editions early too. So that's probably another part of the problem.
Yeah, I know. Ugh, craziness. They need to get their shit together like Barnes. Barnes was so good. We had the book already.
So organized.
Quick. We waited in line like maybe 15 minutes. And we got there at 11, so we were late to the party, too, and didn't even wait that long, so it was nice.
Yeah. No, it was really fun. People were playing charades, and there was trivia and, like, giveaways.
Yeah.
And, everyone, there was a couple of people dressed up. I saw a couple, like, Violets and Mira's.
Yeah, we had our own little Runes party at Rachel's house.
Yes, we played Runes Jenga.
Yeah. Drank some espresso martinis, had some soup. It was so nice.
Yeah, when we got a match of the runes, we were making it up what they meant. We were like, this is for jumping high or leaping and like time jumping.
Like explosion.
And yeah.
It was super fun.
No, it was really fun.
Shout out to Rachel for making that game for us because that was great.
Yeah. And she won a giveaway at the release. She won a dragon goblet.
Yeah.
It has like Sigil on it. It was really cool.
I know. That was actually so cool.
Yep.
She's so lucky.
I know. I was like, why is her name not being called? Even though I am such an idiot. I was so tired. I didn't take the keep this portion. I just put the whole ticket into the thing. They're like, this names loser, anyway, so. This loser didn't take her ticket.
You know what's so funny? Because I literally almost did that and thought about it and was like, oh, let me rip it. So I almost was there with you. And then when you said that, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
That's so funny.
We still got like bookmarks and a pin.
Yeah.
And a sticker.
Yeah, it was cute. Yeah, it was so fun.
It was fun.
Love you, Barnes & Noble.
Yes. B&N for life.
For life.
So, Megan,
yes.
Since you are the most amazing social media manager / producer / analytics person, give us some stats of Bookish Bliss over the years. We literally started from the bottom and now we're here. So tell us how we're doing.
Yeah, which is so funny that I'm the one tracking these stats because Amanda's the engineer and like she is like the manager of putting everything together. And I'm just like, la, 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 la. Let me record and post on social media. But for some reason, I'm obsessive over how many followers we have, how we've grown, things like that, keeping track of
how many views we have,
yes,
likes, everything. She's on top of it.
Yeah.
She's always like, Amanda, we lost 3 followers today. Also, there's some glitch on Instagram where if you change your name, it shows you as unfollowed. So we've been struggling with that.
We got stuck at a number all the time. It was like because we literally started at 0. Yeah. Like me and Amanda were the first 1-2 followers. Yeah. And then, we do have some supportive family and friends, but we don't have hundreds of, supportive families and friends. We probably had
100 people that we actually knew that started following. Not like friends, but like family, friends, and people that knew of us that joined.
So we're at today 574. Which is a new cursed number because back in the 200s, we were like stuck at like 222. And it would like go up and then go back down and go up and back down. And so literally like we were up to like 577, went back to 574, 575, 574, 575. Now we're back at 574 again. I'm just like, what the heck? It's like a curse right now.
Yeah. So if you're not following and you know people that love books and they're not following, help us get to 600.
Please. Yes.
That would be great. How about TikTok? I know you said you haven't been really doing much on TikTok because it was going to be banned, but how about followers there? Do you know?
I think we're around like 1728. So
we're around 1728.
Yeah, because it also fluctuates from 1730s and because I wasn't super active on there because I'm not going to put all this energy if it's going to be gone, which it was for 14 hours. So I was like crying.
Yeah, Megan had a connection.
Yeah. So I will refocus my efforts to try to get us into the 2000s.
Yes.
That's my goal.
Yes. I love that goal.
Yeah, so as of like December 26th, because I haven't done our January stats yet, because I always do it at the end of the month. So in a couple of days, I'll do it. We had 138 YouTube followers, which I think just from glancing the other day did go up to 141.
Ooh.
which is very exciting because obviously we started at 0.
Yeah.
And we're like the little podcast that could. We're just like,
we just chug along
chugging
every
along.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. We had 72 Spotify followers on December 26th, which I now think it's up to 78 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So that is really exciting.
Nice.
Apple, we were at 51. So
yeah, so like almost 300 total subscribers.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
That is exciting.
You know, it's just so crazy to think like we're just started this podcast from nothing and now we have 300 people from all different countries that watch us. I think at our Spotify Wrap we had like 14 countries.
And we do improve week by week. I feel like we have been consistently growing, not with like these huge margins, but you know, enough people keep interest and join where we are motivated to keep making videos.
I feel like we love chatting at this point, and we love books so much. That we just, you know, it's a passion of ours at this point. So like your support is just, you know, super great and we're super grateful. Like the other day, we've gotten like some pretty high views on like memes we've made, like ACOTAR memes. But the other day, like we posted like the end of Iron Flame of us just like reading the end of our reactions to, you know, Zayden. And like it got over like 16,000 views. I think it's almost at 17,000 views of just like us just talking. And I'm like, so what? Cool. Like 17,000 people like watched us saying these words.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And it's like, only going to get better.
Yeah, just the littlest things like get me so like excited. And I'm like, Amanda, I'll screenshot the numbers and I'll send them to her and like circle and like highlight sometimes. I'm like, look.
I love it, darling.
Thanks,
it is
darling.
all Megan that does the social media. I don't even have social media anymore. So it's all the kudos to you. You are killing it. We would be nothing without you, literally.
And I love to chat. So when you comment, DM us, and I love responding.
Yes.
So it's like
I respond through Megan. So I'm involved in that way, but the world of social media is Megan's world.
Well, you have to focus on editing because I barely know how to do that. I'm like, Amanda, I was like, I'll help you, you know, do this. She's like, okay, like, don't do it. She's like, well, if you're going to do it, then like, I'll just go over it to make sure.
That's probably because I'm a control freak.
She is when it comes to like the editing. And I feel like, you know, when I did it for you like one time, I did an okay job.
No, you did.
Just fixed a few things.
Honestly, it's not even fair because it's been a year that I've been doing it. So there's not even like a comparison. When I first started, I made mistakes. I didn't know shit. I literally am self-taught. I have never edited anything before this podcast. So,
but you know, her skills are so good now. Her podcast, if you want to pay her to edit your podcast, no, just she has enough on her plate. Yeah,
with our podcast, but no, it's super fun. Anyone can do it. I encourage anyone that wants to try to go for it because it's a learning curve, but it's really rewarding.
All right,
maybe let's take one more cheers to our stats.
Cheers! Yay to growth!
To growth. All right, so this episode, we really just wanted to talk more about ourselves because we don't really get into, besides our awful trailer that we are not going to have anyone watch. So please don't go back to it. We're going to eventually have to redo it. We were new to podcasting and we were like awful at it. I feel like now we're not professionals, but I feel like we're way more animated, way more comfortable. So we need to redo that trailer a little bit.
Yeah, not be robots. Like, hi. I'm Megan, and I am 33, and I live in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I work in insurance.
And I'm like this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, literally my jaw hurt the whole time.
Yeah, that is not us.
No.
We're actually what you see now. Yeah. Literally crazy people.
Crazy. Like, unhinged. Say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
It's way funner that way.
Yeah. Like, if you listened a couple episodes to our final thoughts, Amanda's like, we make the rules and we fucking break them.
Yep.
So This is just to get to know us a little bit better. And I think it would be fun to talk about some other books that we really enjoy besides, some all fantasy
and I feel
that
like,
we've been talking about.
Yeah, we constantly talk about books, and some of these questions I'm still like so interested to hear what you have to say. So I think it will be fun. We're just going to spit fire, say whatever the fuck we want, because that's who the fuck we are.
Hell yeah. So, what is the best book you've ever read and why?
Whoa. Well, I'm going to have to say Fourth Wing. I swear this will be the only time I use this book, because the first time Megan sent me these questions, I'm like, all my answers are Fourth Wing, but...
And I said, get it together and think of more books.
She said, no, you can do different books. So here I am using my one and only answer, because it is really the best book for so many reasons. The first one that really threw me into this world and made me love fantasy and love world building and love all that jazz.
All that jazz.
But also it's holds a special place in my heart because it started our book club. It really kind of started this podcast because... Yeah. I know we did ACOTAR first, but me and Megan, we've been friends literally forever, but our book club really, really made us like tight. And this podcast was born because of that. Yeah. Yeah. We literally talk probably 20 hours a day.
Yes. Literally. We just sleep and that's it.
Yeah. So I would have to say favorite book of all time, definitely Fourth Wing.
Okay.
How about you, Megan? I know your answer, but tell me anyway. This one I do know.
So this will be the one and only time I use this as well. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas is obviously my favorite book of all time.
Yes.
Obsessed, 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 obsessed. Like just the setup from ACOTAR into ACOMAF and chapter 55 and 54. Like,
yeah.
Crazy. Obsessed.
I do love that book too. I love that series, but that book. What chapter is it?
54 and 55.
54 and 55. I knew you would know.
Yeah.
Those two chapters alone make it a great book. So everything else is just added bonus.
Obsessed.
Yes.
What book do you think everyone should read at least once?
What book do I think everyone should read at least once?
Well, not any book that you would think like they would want to read over and over again. Yeah. Just something that you read, you're like, this was a good book, but I don't know.
Okay.
You should at least read it once.
Okay. I think I have an answer.
Ooh.
It's actually one that I've read very recently.
Okay.
It's a dark romance, so it's not for everyone. But I do think it is the perfect book that has enough dark romance but not too much, where like there's still a really good love story. It's not like weird kind of dark romance, it's like sexy dark romance. Hooked.
Yeah.
By Emily McIntyre. Great book. I'm reading her second one, Scarred, now because I loved that one so much. Barnes & Noble had like a first edition of it over Christmas, and I just picked it up because I liked the look of it, and I ended up loving the book. So I would say if you're going to try a dark romance book or genre, try to get into that. That's a great one to read once and then never have to read it again. But because everything will stay in your head forever. It's that good.
Yeah.
How about you, Megan?
Yeah, I guess like looking at this question like a different way, I think my introduction to dark romance was like a lot of different genres thrown at me at once. It was Den of Vipers by K.A. Knight. It's a Why Choose romance as well. So it's my first Why Choose, my first dark romance, my first really intense smut where there wasn't really much of a plot line. It was kind of crazy and intense. Like, please check trigger warnings for sure before reading that book. But honestly, I kept seeing videos like, never read this book, traumatized. I was like, add to cart immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, that's literally what made me want hooked. The first page is like, this is fucked up. It's not a love story. Like, the main character is a villain and he stays that way. And then the author's like, I much prefer that you go in blind. But if you need a list of trigger warnings, go to my website. And I'm like, yep, I'm buying this book.
Yeah. I don't know if this is for everyone. So it's like, what do you think everyone should read at least once? But I mean, I think everyone needs a little wide choose dark romance in their life.
Yeah.
And I feel like giving, I don't know if I fully want to endorse this recommendation, but it was very eye-opening and I'll probably never read it again. But it lives like rent-free in my head.
Yeah. Love that. It's definitely in my Kindle Unlimited bookshelf. So,
well, it's so funny that I say I'll never read it again, but I have like my first copy that I bought from Amazon, and I also have a special edition of it as well. So.
You do. That should be a question. How many special editions do you have? You don't even know, probably.
No. All right. Do you prefer physical books, ebooks, or audiobooks?
I definitely prefer the physical book. Except now for the podcast, I like the Kindle because for Fourth Wing, Rebecca Yarros had put them on Kindle Unlimited. So I was able to do them online with the highlighting, and it's so much easier to do notes for the episodes. But personally, if I'm reading for fun, physical copy all day. How about you, Megan?
So I also prefer physical books. I will read probably more smut on my Kindle e-reader just because
she's shy and doesn't want it on her bookshelf.
Yeah. There's some on my bookshelf, but I don't know. I just find they're all on Kindle Unlimited. I'm like, well, I have Kindle Unlimited for a reason.
Yeah.
Might as well use it.
Yeah, it's so worth it. I feel like if you read one book a month on it, it pays for itself.
Yeah. And then audiobooks, I'm not the biggest audiobook fan. It has to be like some sort of like sexy voice behind it for me to want to listen to it. But I do love graphic audio, just movie in your mind.
Yeah.
And just the music and like the sound backgrounds and like all different actors like playing it out. I do love that. That holds my attention. But if I'm listening to a regular audiobook and the voice just isn't doing it for me, I will space out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what did I just listen to? And then I have to like go back again.
Yep, I'm the same exact way. The only way I can listen to an audio is if I'm super into the book. If it has short chapters where I don't have to stay focused the whole time, you know, like Frida McFadden, I can listen to her all day, all her books on audio. They're so exciting and quick. Like the chapters are like 3 pages. Easy to listen to that. But anything else, I can't even concentrate. I can like go back and forth between like physical and audio. If I'm really needing to like figure out a part, I'll pay attention that ways. But if I'm not reading it myself first, I couldn't tell you one name of a character or anything normally.
Yeah. All right. Is there a book that changed your perspective on life?
Change my perspective on life. I'm going to have to go with a nonfiction book.
Okay.
For this one. And I have 2, actually. Ooh. Because it's a tie and I can't pick which ones. One has to do with, I don't know if you ever heard of her. She's a podcast that I listen to. It's called Financial Feminist.
No.
And she wrote a book basically how to like save money, pay your debt, invest, retirement accounts, like all this really, really good advice for women specifically. And I feel like since I've been listening to her, I've been doing way better with money and credit cards and stuff like that. So definitely life-changing, not in a way that like a good fiction book changes your life, but definitely a good one for those that are interested or need some guidance. All free, her podcast stuff too. So she has like classes you can take too, which I've never actually taken. My cousin Maddie has, but the book pretty much has all you need, I think. And second is another podcast that I listen to that I probably have talked to you about on many occasions. Sure. My health kicks talk.
Yeah.
But this one doctor, Dr. Mindy Pels, she also is specifically women focused. But it's all about fasting to your cycle, which was crazy to me, and talks about like the foods you should eat and the fasting windows and stuff like that, which totally opened my mind to healthy eating. And that's why I mentioned the chemicals earlier. I've been really trying to detox my body from the chemicals and the sugar. So she definitely changed my life in that book too. And it's called Fast Like a Girl.
Nice.
How about you, Megan?
Well, there was a book that I feel like changed my perspective on life, and it's called The Midnight Library. And I was visiting my friend Christina when she was living in Miami Beach, and I had already, I think, read through the books that I brought, and it was like one of our final beach days there, and she's like, here, like, read this book. I read it, and I feel like you would really enjoy reading it, but also I feel like you need to read this. And I was like, okay. So just like backtracking, you know, I had a traumatic event like happen to me like almost 10 years ago at this point, and I've always played, and I'm sure a lot of you have played this game. I'm sure you've done it too, Amanda, the what if game.
Yeah.
And just, what if I did this? What if I did that? If I had just changed what I did, or if I had just picked up the phone, or if I had just done something a different day, then this like event wouldn't have happened. And you just have all these regrets, and you like blame yourself. Or maybe you're just not in a place in your life where you thought that you would be.
Yeah.
You would be married and have babies or whatever. As we get older, as women, as, you know, people, we think about these things. And I was like really kind of down. And so I read this book. I don't want to give it away, but it totally just helped me put aside the what ifs and my regrets, and
I love that.
showed me that I was exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I really feel like it helped turn off the like negative talk in my head.
Wow. So, definitely life changing.
Yeah.
Love
for sure.
that. Good recommendation.
Thanks.
I love that. I'm going to have to, I think it's on my bookshelf, to be honest. I have to look
good
after.
Yeah.
If not, it will be.
What is a book you've read multiple times?
Okay, I have to say
You have to
Fourth
say
Wing
it, yeah.
only because I have really never reread books before, but Fourth Wing and Iron Flame are the only ones I've reread, and Golds. I would do it again. I love them.
Yeah.
Love those books. How about you?
Well, I think they're obvious. I've read, obviously, all of ACOTAR again for the podcast, and the Empyrean series as well. I'm trying to think. There was this book series by Karen Robards. She writes, like, thriller romance novels, and I'm, like, super into that. Any aspect of romance you could put in any genre is for me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like paranormal as well. So the first book is called The Last Victim, and it's the Dr. Charlotte Stone series.
Oh. Okay.
And basically she is, I think, a psychiatrist, and she's working in a prison, and one of the inmates that she's studying, he's a serial killer, ends up dying like in front of her. And then his ghost ends up like haunting her. And then she's like helping like the FBI like search for a serial killer, because that's just like her specialty.
Yeah.
Because she was like a survivor from a serial killer back when she was younger. And so this like dead serial killer like kind of like haunts her and is like annoying her like throughout like her investigation. And the banter's fantastic. It is a series that I've read a couple of times. Yeah, I think there's 4 books in the series. And I'm always just like, I hope there's another one. And there hasn't been a new one in like such a long time. But such a good series. It does end, you know, it kind of does wrap up the story. But I love it. Ooh. So that is like one series like outside of, you know, fan romantasy that I've read multiple times. Yeah. So I do really recommend that. I think she's a fantastic writer. I do like all of her thriller romance novels, but this is kind of like a series that she has, and I'm obsessed.
When I'm editing, I'm going to be writing all of these down because I don't know if I've probably said it on the podcast before, but I would say 90% of the books that I buy are Megan recommendations. So
I'm obsessed.
Yeah. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Megan, do you judge books by their cover?
Kind of.
Same.
Yeah. 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 I think, you know, but some of the books, you know, with some not so great covers have been, you know, surprising. I mean, I don't even know a book off the top of my head that I could say. So you really shouldn't judge a book by by its cover. You should judge it by the summary in the back of the book.
Yeah, I feel like I normally, if it's the 10% that I don't get from Megan's recommendations, it's because I'm usually wandering Barnes and Noble. So literally the first thing that catches my eye, and then I read it. And if I like it, then I'll buy it. So it's not fully the cover, but it definitely attracts me.
Yeah, for sure.
To most books.
Yeah.
And then
'Cause
once
if
I
it's, like-
do that and I like an author, I will get all the books from the author.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
literally how I pick books mostly. Like I read
Literally,
Hooked
same.
and now I own all the other 5 of the Never After series. So it's just what I do. But yeah, I would definitely say it plays a role, the cover.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you decide what to read next?
Oh, I'm such a mood reader. So besides like what we're obligated to read, obviously for the podcast, which obviously love these books.
Yeah.
We're picking them for a reason.
Right.
And then we're in a book club together. So sometimes I'm not the biggest fan of the books that get picked. I've never truly hated any of them except one. Which I'm just not gonna say out loud.
I know exactly what you're thinking of.
But it is kind of nice because then you do get to read books for that, you know, another person super loves.
Yeah.
So, or not loves, but like from a genre they really wanted the group to read.
Yeah. It's nice too because sometimes you would have never even picked up that book, but you actually like it, and you know, there's an upside to it too, because you're like, damn, I would have never picked up that book, and I love that I did. So,
what was the book about the octopus? What was the name of that book?
Remarkably Bright Creatures. I can't remember who the author is off the top of my head.
Yeah, I probably would have never picked up that book on my own.
Never.
And our friend Tara, that was her month, she picked that book. Well, we pick 3 books and then we vote on one of the 3 books as a group, but that was one of her recommendations. I probably never would have picked that up on my own. A couple of our other friends love to pick like contemporary fictions, which is a nice balance from like the heavy fantasy or romance or thrillers. But no, I really I ended up like sobbing at the end.
Yeah, no, that was a really good. That was probably the best contemporary fiction we read. Yeah, out of all of them.
I really did like The Wedding People as well.
Yeah, The Wedding People was good.
So besides like the 2 books that I have to read for podcast or book club, it's really just whatever my mood is going towards and like kind of what I'm not already reading. Like I usually will read a thriller or a romance, but I always end up back to fantasy somehow. Yeah. So usually it's definitely mood based. So that's how I pick what to read next. Yeah. How about you?
So for me, I feel like if I read a book and I loved it, I will immediately pick up another book from the same author because I just need more of them, the author. Yeah. But I think too, I'm so far behind on the fantasy books from you that I've been trying to chug through them and really catch up on all the fantasies. So I feel like I've been doing more fantasies. I really like an easy, quick thriller as like almost like a palate cleanser sometimes. So that's usually I guess that's kind of moody too of me. Yes. Whatever mood I'm in. If I have like 2 weeks before I have to start a new book club book or something, I'll pick something small or just something easy. So it's really just whatever fits into the lifestyle at the moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, next one. Do you keep a list of books that you've read or want to read?
Of course I do. I'm on Goodreads. Find me, Megan Catherine.
Nice. Yeah, I just do mine in my notes like an old lady, like my notes app in my phone. But I track them by the year, and after the year, I put them all on a massive list of all the books I've ever read.
See, this is why it's surprising, right? That she doesn't have the stats. I
do. Well, yeah, I guess so. I'm not as obsessed with Megan. She's like, one follower, I'm like, yes! Any growth is amazing, yes! And then she's like, we lost a follower. I'm like, oh, shucks. But Megan really gets annoyed.
Yeah. Okay. If you could live in the world of any book, which one will it be? I'll give it to you. Just do it. Just do it.
Honestly, I'm actually not going to say Fourth Wing.
Wow.
Only because, and I would love to have a dragon and bond, but if I'm being really honest with myself, I would be a scribe. And it would be scary to live in a world like that as a scribe. So, yeah. I'm not going to pick Fourth Wing. I'm actually going to go with ACOTAR.
Wow.
Because I love the Fae world and Valaris. I would love to live in Valaris. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm going to go with. How about you, Megan?
Okay, so fantasy-wise, Yeah, obviously Akatar is the world that I want to live in.
Yeah. You can have Reese. I can have
Obsessed with
Cassian.
Reese. Yeah. But in like I also have like a secret like love of hockey romances. So there's this off-campus series by Kennedy that like I'm obsessed with, and so I would like to live in that world as well. Like go back to college, like be in that world, and just be in love with Garrett Graham.
Yeah.
So
love that.
which book character do you relate to the most?
Ooh, which book character do I relate to the most? I don't know. That's a hard one.
Well, I think I relate to Nesta Archeron the most.
Yeah.
I'm an oldest sibling. I totally get the gripes that she has as an older sibling and the annoyances. I also, you know, with her mental health, I've definitely gone through my own struggles and coming out on the other side.
Yeah.
And definitely had my moments where I feel like people also wanted to strangle me. But I just think she's resilient, and I think she's a badass, and I think like she really is coming into her own and the strength that she has.
Yeah.
And I think I relate to her the most in my journey of my life.
I love that. Okay, I have an answer.
Okay.
I was inspired.
Okay.
I think probably Rhiannon for me because
I can see that.
She's a badass. She's a girl's girl, which I totally am. She's super close with her family and her sister, which I am. My whole family, cousins, everybody, uncles, aunts, we're all super close. And I just think she's so helpful and such a leader, which is actually kind of hard for me to say sometimes, but I feel like I am leader energy.
Yeah, of course you are.
So maybe because I'm a control freak, but
so
I think
funny.
Rhiannon probably for me.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. If you could meet any author, living or dead, who would it be?
Rebecca Yarros.
She's pretty badass.
She's just badass. Yeah. And her interviews are just so fun to watch.
She's so funny.
She's sassy and like funny and gives you hints, but also creates like a fucking whirlwind in your head.
Yeah. She knows how to draw you in.
Yeah.
And then leave you hanging, but also you feel satisfied in the answer that she gave.
Exactly. Because you don't want to hear too much, but you're like, she gives you just enough where you're like, damn, I'm going to spiral on that, but fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And also I would have to say a close second would probably be Frida McFadden because she is actually a doctor who specializes in brain injuries and she writes psychological thrillers. So I would love to hear what she has to say or her thought process of writing books. That would be awesome. How about you, Megan?
All right. Well, besides Sarah J. Maas, because her mind, I think, is so brilliant from like the three worlds she's created in this massive massverse. I just need to know what is happening next right now.
Yeah.
So even if she just like stared at me and was like, didn't answer any of my questions, I would be like super happy, you know?
If she just nodded or like...
Yeah, like give me like a hand signal, something, or just like pick her brain on like the thought processes of, you know, how she builds her worlds and connects things. And I just think it's brilliant because just to see what she's done had to have been years and years of being thought out.
Yeah.
But also another one of like my all-time favorite books that's like not fantasy is Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler, and she just seems like the coolest, most down-to-earth. That was her like debut novel. Made me bawl my eyes out, like obsessed. So I would love to meet her because I think she's just really cool.
Hell yeah. Love that.
What book would you like to see turned into a movie or TV show that has not already been picked up by a network or like a streaming platform?
Okay. I would probably have to say it is a fantasy book.
Okay.
It's not actually a standalone. There is a second one. It's TJ Klum, and it's The House in the Cerulean Sea. It's just such a sweet, cute book, but also has that fantasy aspect that would be cool to see on the television. And I would be crying at the end, and you would be crying at the end. But it would be so fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I would have to say that one. I haven't read the second one yet, but based on the first one, I think it would be so fun to watch as a TV show. Probably not maybe not a TV show, maybe a movie, because it's not, there's only 2 books and it's not very like immersive into the world. It's very easy world building. It's not like super magic related, but there's mystical magical orphans hiding from the humans. So that's what I would have to go with. How about you, Megan?
Oh, so I think I would like to see, I don't know, I love fantasy books. And so I want to see all of them made into TV shows. But Kingdom of the Wicked is a series that I'm obsessed with. It has 7 princes of hell are all like the deadly sins. So like gluttony and lust and greed and no, it's really cool.
Yeah.
They're right here.
That one sounds good.
Yeah. Super obsessed. And then there's 3 and then it goes into like a spin-off series. Which I have not read the spin-off series yet, but I'm super excited that just the podcast has taken over my life. Yeah. Or like Zodiac Academy. I have some of the special editions like right there behind me.
Yes, I want to read Zodiac Academy.
Other ones, I just have not put them up yet. So I have to update my shelf. But I think, that would be a wild series to see play out in real life.
Yeah.
Just like the magic system and the characters. And so I think I would like to see those.
Yeah. I definitely have Zodiac Academy on my Kindle too to read.
Anything that's on these shelves, like 1, 2, 3, like make them into
TV
shows.
Literally.
Which character would you bring to life if you could? I feel like there's just not one good answer. I feel like there's so many that I would want to bring to life. Yeah. So I guess like what are your top 5 characters you would maybe want to like meet in person?
Okay. Top 5 characters. Violet and Rhiannon, because I feel like you can't meet one of them without meeting the other.
Yep.
Then I would have to go Nesta.
Yep.
And then Xaden.
Yep.
And Cassian. That's who I pick. How about you?
Oh my gosh, now that I'm like told you 5, now I'm like,
I know, it's hard. 5? It's hard.
I would like to meet Nesta Archeron, obviously. I have to pick her. I would like to meet, obviously, Rhysand.
Wait, shit. Can we do 6? Because I want to meet the hooked guy.
Okay. You can add him as a bonus.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, so Nesta, Rhys. I would like to meet Xaden, too. Azriel.
Ooh.
And Aelin.
Wow. Did you say Rhys?
Yeah.
Oh,
I said Nesta, Rhys, Xaden, Azriel, Aelin.
Okay, but who's your bonus? Because I have Hook as my bonus, so who's yours?
I don't know.
Can I make a suggestion?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to meet Liam?
Liam!
I feel like that would have been your first. Well, maybe after Rhysand, but.
I think we should. I would need, honestly, like, my list changes like constantly of like
this is like on the spot questions, so
but like literally I need to have 20.
Yeah,
at least 20.
Holy shit. Yeah, I don't read that many books. I don't even know if I could think of 20 characters.
Just like recently these characters have lived in my head for the past year, so I feel like that's why they're at the top of my head.
Yeah.
But like I would like to meet Daddy Niktos from the From Blood and Ash like prequel. Any of those Princes of Hell, like Garrett Graham from Off Campus.
I know. There's a lot to choose when you say top 5. It's hard to even choose, like narrow it down to one. I don't think I could.
I think Nesta would be at this moment in time, I would want to meet her.
Mine would be a boy. Mine would be Hook. You just jumped to number 1. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't pick number 1. I couldn't pick one right now.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But if I had to pick a boy first, Rhysand, of course.
Yeah.
All right. What is a book you'd recommend to me and why?
What book have I read that you haven't read? Like, this is so hard. You recommend books to me like literally daily. So I don't know if I've ever actually recommended one to you. To be honest, I feel like I'm on the spot. Maybe a Frida one.
Yeah.
Because I've read a lot of hers.
Two.
And yeah, I think you liked The Teacher, right?
Yeah.
So probably
it was icky, but I liked it.
There was 2 that I read more recently that kind of stand out to me of the Frida books, Frida McFadden. which is Want to Know a Secret, which is my sister's favorite one. So I read that one. Super, super good. And Never Lie. Super good.
Yes.
So.
Never Lie was also recommended to me today by a coworker.
Oh,
so
it is
I
really
might have to
good.
put that at the top of my list.
Yeah, it's really good, really quick, easy.
Yeah. What am I going to recommend you? Hold
Yeah.
on, let me turn around.
What haven't you recommended me is really the question here.
I know. I think I've told you to buy like all of these.
Literally.
Oh, I really like these series. I don't know if you bought them yet, but it's like The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, Love Theoretically,
Yep.
and I think there's another one
I
by
have them
Allie
all.
Hazelwood. Yeah.
Yep.
So I've already recommended those to you.
Yep, you have. And that's what I'm saying. You have to literally think about one you haven't. That's a better question.
The weirdest book I've ever read,
but
obsessed. Fairytale. This freaking weird book was an upset. I couldn't read, remember, for like weeks after I finished this.
Yeah.
Because I was just so obsessed.
I remember you being so confused, but also like so intrigued. You couldn't put it down.
I had no idea what was happening. And I was like, I gotta keep going. I was like creeped out, intrigued, obsessed, in love. I don't know. All at the same time. But I'd read it on the Kindle because these words are
tiny. Yeah.
Obsessed.
Fairytale, okay.
Yeah, by Veronica Lancet. I think maybe one last question?
Yeah, one last question. Perfect.
Okay.
Do you remember what the first book you ever read was? Like on your own?
Yeah.
And what age you were?
So this is so hard because I remember reading like Harry Potter and things like that when I was in middle school into high school. But there was this like vivid memory of me just like reading books with my friend Katie Marshall. And one of them was called Telling Christina Goodbye.
Oh.
And it's like a book that really just sticks out in my head. I can't for the life of you tell you what the author is at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is the first book I remember reading in high school that really like stood out to me, was emotional, that really just jumped me on like another reading binge.
Yeah. Like started the addiction.
Yeah. Of reading. Because I was like, what is my next like emotional fix
that
I'm going to get?
Literally. I love that.
How about you?
I'm an engineer. I'm a numbers girl. I hated books. I didn't even I was in English honors and I hated reading them for school. So, but the first one that I actually picked up that I read the whole series for was Hunger Games.
Oh.
And I think I was like 16, 17. I was definitely in high school. It was over a summer.
I read that in college, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I had seen the first movie and I was like, I need to know what happens. And my little cousin, Maya, she was like, oh, I have it on my Kindle. Just borrow my Kindle. And I was not a reader at all at this point, and I read all 3 books in a week.
Yeah.
So.
No, I remember finishing Catching Fire in that series, being like, where's the next book?
Yeah.
I need the next book.
I read
right
the
now.
Songbirds and Snakes, whatever that one is with Snow. I want to read the Haymitch one. I'm like super obsessed with that series. So I honestly don't think I've ever rewatched the movies though, but cause I've seen them all, but I loved
I feel like they did a really good job with the movies.
Yeah. Definitely. I know a lot of things, especially because it was the first book I read, a lot of things I pictured way differently than what the movie actually was. I did watch the movie first, so I could use that as kind of a guide, but shit happens in the other books that you don't know about. So, but wow. Yeah. It was a good series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
obsessed.
that was fun.
I know. There's so many books I could talk about. Like, I'm
for
just
hours.
Obsessed.
And there's so many recommendations that I'm going to take from this episode.
Yeah.
And if you guys read any that we've said, let us know. We love to talk about them.
Yes. Obsessed with talking too. So.
And if you guys have any recommendations that you think for any of the questions that we've answered today, let us know too.
Yes.
We love the TBRs. We have thousands of books probably on our TBRs combined.
Yes.
Crazy. That is all we have for you today. Please let us know what you think by leaving us a review and comments on any of the platforms that you are listening/watching on, or on our social media pages. This helps tremendously to get the word out, keep us growing every single week, and lead more listeners to find our show and tune in.
Yes, don't forget to email, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and tell all your friends about us. And we hope the rest of your day is blissful. Bye!
Thank you so much for listening. Join us next week where we start part 1 of Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yaros, covering the prologue through chapter 10. Happy reading!